Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Pradeep Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 11, Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting from from text 1 to 12. Text 1. Sri Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the Achamana by touching water and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayana and fixed it upon his bow. Text 2. As soon as Dhruva Maharaja joined the Narayana Astra to his bow, the illusion created by the Yakshas was immediately vanquished, just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. Text 3. Even as Dhruva Maharaja fixed the weapon made by Narayan Rishi on his bow, arrows with golden shafts and feathers like the wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy's soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a flower with tumultuous crowing. Text 4. Those sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious. But various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhruva Maharaja, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. Text 5. When Dhruva Maharaja saw the Yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies to pieces, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the Yakshas to the planetary systems, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first class brahmacharis who have never discharged their semen. Text 6. When Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaja was killing so many of the yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. Text 7. Lord Manu said, My dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. Text 8. My dear son, the killing of sinless yakshas who you, which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and it does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. Text 9. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by yakshas. But just consider, for one yaksha offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. Text 10. One should not accept the body as the self and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 11. It is very difficult to achieve the supreme abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. Text 12. Because you are a very because you are a pure devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you and you are always recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised why have you undertaken such an abominable task? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Pradeep Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Krishna Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Are you able to hear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, it's clear.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Sundarana Prabhu, and thank you all for giving this opportunity to summarize the today's Bhagavatam section. And thank you, Pradeep Prabhuji, for reading the translations of today's Bhagavatam section. We'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamriti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschyatta Deshatarani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all. So today we are going through the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11. Swayambhu Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. So just to give a background, so in the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, so in the last chapter we heard Maitreya Muni narrating to Vidura, describing how Dhruva Maharaj's brother Uttama got killed by one of the Yaksha, and hearing the sad news, and Dhruva Maharaj loves his brother so much, so he became very angry, and he went to the abode of Yakshas, which is Alakapuri, and he fought with them. And we heard many wonderful descriptions of this great fight. And then at the last we saw that Yakshas, they used mystic tricks on Dhruva Maharaj, and they created a great illusion. Seeing that the great sages wishing Dhruva Maharaj's welfare, they told him to chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord to come out from the illusion. So at a very high level in this chapter, we see that Dhruva Maharaj following the guidance or direction of the great sages. So he uses the Narayana Astra to come out from illusion, and then he starts killing many Yakshas. And we see that Manu, seeing this and out of compassion for Yakshas and for the welfare of Dhruva Maharaj, so he approaches Dhruva and advises to stop the war. And also he advises to pacify the chief of the Yakshas, who is Kuvera. And then Manu and the great sages, they leave that place. So we'll start from the Sloka 1. So in the Sloka 1, first text 1, we see that Maitreya Muni is narrating to Vidura, saying that Dhruva Maharaj, after hearing the encouraging words of the great sages, so he performed the Achamana by touching water, and then he took up the air of made by Lord Narayana. So, and Prabhupada mentions in the purport, so Dhruva Maharaj was in illusion right now, because which was created by the Yakshas with their mystic tricks. And we see that what Astra Dhruva Maharaj used to come out from illusion is Narayana Astra, which is made by Lord Narayana. So, and we also hear in the next sloka that, as soon as he joined the Narayana Astra to his bow, then all the illusion is gone. That was created by the Yakshas. So this one Prabhupada mentions in the purport that similarly, in this material world also, all the conditioned living entities were also in illusion. So this is one of the defect of the, out of the 4 defects of the conditioned living entity in this material world. So like we have 4 defects, like our senses are imperfect, we have a tendency to cheat, and we have a propensity to make mistakes, or and we are illusion. So that's why the knowledge that the conditioned living entity comes up by his own, like the modern scientists, like whoever is, and they come up with their own theory. If that doesn't match with the Vedic literature or given by the Guru and Acharyas, sadhus, then it is not going to be perfect. It's not perfect. So one of the defect is we are in illusion. So at least I am an illusion. So, and the greatest illusion is there are so many illusions. Like sometimes we touch the rope and think a snake. Of course, touching rope and thinking snake is not dangerous, but the other way is also happens sometimes. Touching snake and thinking it is a rope, and then that is a dangerous. Snake can bite and kill this person. But the greatest illusion is we think we are this body. We don't think that we are the spirit soul. That's why most of our activities or most of the people's activities in this material world, they are in line with this bodily concept, not in line with the spiritual soul. That's because we don't think that we are the spirit soul, which is part and parcel of Krishna. Very powerful. So to come out from this great illusion, powerful illusion, we should also be equipped with this Narayanastra. Of course, the Narayanastra for this Kali Yuga, or to come out from this great illusion, is to chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then we can slowly come out from this great illusion. And we're very fortunate that this was brought by Krishna himself in his most merciful incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's giving it for free, no charge. So, and whoever is intelligent, they can take it up. Like Bhagavatam, it's mentioned, Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam, Sangopangastra Parshadam, Egnai Sankirtana Praya, Ejantihi Sumedasa. Whoever is intelligent enough, they will take this astra, the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that without the help of this Narayana Astra or Lord Narayana or Krishna, one cannot overcome from illusion. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Mama Maya Duratyaya. Daivihe Shagunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. This is very difficult to overcome. But whoever takes shelter of the Supreme Lord, then they will easily cross over. Mame eva ye prapadyante, mayam yetam tarantite. Like, whoever takes shelter of Krishna, then they will cross over it. So when we take up the process of Krishna consciousness or take the shelter of Krishna, then this great illusion, which is like a great ocean, so Krishna will make that as a small pond. Bhavam budir vatsapadam parampadam. So he will make the great ocean to the size of the calf's hoof print. Bhavam budir vatsapadam. So then it is very easy for anyone to cross over, right? So that's why it is very recommended by Acharyas, and that to take up this process of Krishna consciousness to come out from illusion. How Dhruva Maharaj is using Lord Narayana's astra to come out from the illusion created by the Yakshas. So in the second sloka, we see that as soon as he joined this Narayana astra, so the illusion created by the Yakshas was vanquished. How the material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. And Prabhupada mentions that, it's like, the holy name or Krishna is like a sun and Maya is like a dark. So darkness means absence of light. So similarly, Maya means absence of Krishna consciousness. So how the darkness will go away? Like as soon as the sun presents. So similarly, if we take up the process of Krishna consciousness and practice it sincerely and seriously, the Maya will go away. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, right? Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhakar. So Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Radhika. So wherever there is Krishna, then there is no Maya. So that's why this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will protect us from the Maya, the attack of the external energy. So it is like a shield. It will protect us. So whenever there is an attack from the Maya. Because as a Grostha, most of us Grosthas, so they have to take care of family. Because of that, they have to go to outside to work. And when we go outside and go to work, then there is we need to meet with many people who may not be into Krishna consciousness, or sometimes they have many negative thoughts in their process. So if we don't protect ourselves with this shield of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then their negative thoughts or their influence will impact us. So that's why it's very helpful to have this shield. So like it is like I don't know, in India, in villages, outskirts, there is sometimes very rarely we see that snake and mongoose will fight. So then this mongoose, what it will does is because it knows that snake is a poisonous. When it bites, it will be died. It will be killed. So to protect from that poisonous effect, so before it fights, it will eat some herbal leaves, so that whatever the poisonous will come will not impact him. So it will go and fight to the snake. And even if snake bites, then mongoose will not die because it is already protected by that herbal leaves, eating that herbal leaves. So similarly, when we go out and meet with the people or outside, if we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, waking up early and chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then we go out, at least this will protect us. So similarly here, Dhruva Maharaj, as soon as he joined the Narayanastra, all the illusion is gone. So in the text 3, we see that Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayan Rishi, and then the arrows with golden shafts and feathers, like all they came out, and they entered the enemy soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with a tumultuous crowd. So similarly, as soon as one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, like all our sinful reactions will go away. Like bhajana kriya, then anarthani vritti. Like as soon as one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then all our sinful reactions will be destroyed. How this powerful arrow is destroying all the enemies. Similarly, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then all our sinful reactions is gone. And even if we practice little bit of this Krishna consciousness, it's mentioned in Bhagavatam, right? We are saved from big danger. Swalpamapasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. So then what to speak if we sincerely follows the directions, recommendations given by Srila Prabhupada, then we can go back home, back to Godhead. So completely destroyed all the enemies like that. So in the next sloka, we see that these sharp arrows decimate the enemy soldiers who became almost unconsciousness. But we see that exhaustion, some or other, they collected their weapons and they are coming to attack Dhruva Maharaj. Like the analogy is given that as serpents agitated by Garuda rush towards Garuda with upraised hoods. So similarly, all the extra soldiers, they prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. And in the text 5, we see that Dhruva Maharaj, seeing the Yakshas coming forward, immediately he took up his arrow and cut the enemies to pieces. Like we see that their arms, legs, bellies, so they were all cut off, separated. And one interesting thing here is mentioned is, so he delivered all those Yakshas to the planet system, which is situated above the sun globe, and attainable only the first class brahmacharis who have never discharged their semen. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that, so whoever killed by the Supreme Lord or his devotees, so it is auspicious if they were killed in the hands of the Supreme Lord or devotees. It is beneficial for them. We hear from Bhagavatam that when Krishna killed Putana, so she was liberated. She went back home, back to Godhead, reached to Goloka Vrindavan. Not only that, she was placed in a very exalted position, like the motherly position. So similarly, many other demons who were killed by Krishna, they are all liberated. And not only that, in the Kurukshetra Vara, there were many people who were killed or who died seeing Krishna. They all went back home, back to Godhead. So similarly here, when Dhruva, whoever was killed by in the hands of Dhruva, they attained to the planet which is above the sun cloud. Prabhupada mentions the purport that it is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. So who will be reached to Satyaloka, Brahmaloka? Who are first class brahmacharis, who never discharged their semen. So this is the power of discharging the semen. If one simply not discharge the semen, then they will go back to Satyaloka, topmost planet. Not only that, even in this life, if someone who is not discharging semen, then because of that power, so their intellectual capability, memory power, and determination, so they all will be raised. All good qualities will increase just simply by not discharging. So there is a great material benefit, and then there is a spiritual benefit. So by not discharging semen. And in the text 6, we see that Swayambhamanu, seeing that his grandson, Dhruvamaharaj, is killing many yakshas who are not actual offenders. So out of great compassion, he approached Dhruva with many great sages to give him good instruction. And Prabhupada mentions Dhruva declared war on yakshas because one of the yaksha killed his brother Uttama. And now he is killing many yakshas. And it is mentioned that it is a serious step. Of course, sometimes it happens, like, when one becomes angry on one person, he is not looking to harm him only. He plans to harm his whole family also sometimes. So sometimes we see that, one person from one country goes and makes some problem to other country. Then that country will declare war on the other country and kills many innocent people. But here, Manu is not approving this kind of act. That's why he came here to stop Dhruva Maharaj to kill further many yakshas. And in the text 7, you see that Manu is speaking, asking, my dear son, please stop. It's not good to become unnecessarily angry. Why? It is path to hellish planet, hellish life. And now you are going beyond the limit it by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. And Prabhupada mentions that this unnecessarily angry is called Atirusvana. So which means unnecessary anger. So when one goes beyond the limits of the necessary anger, so necessary anger is okay, required. But when one goes beyond the necessary anger, then it is called unnecessary anger. So Swayambhamanu came here to protect Dhruva Maharaj from the unnecessary anger. Because with unnecessary anger it becomes sinful reaction. So then what happens? With that, the path to hellish planet is wide open. And Krishna also mentions in Bhagavatam, Trividam Narakasyedam Dwaram Nasanam Atmana. So there are 3 gates leading to the hell. So what are they? Like Kama, Krodha, Tata, Lobhas. Like, the lust, anger, and greed. That's why Krishna says that Tasmadeta Trayam Tejat. So one should be very careful and try to give it up. You should give it up, actually. And not only that, when one is angry, then whatever the decisions they take is going to cause problem, or whatever the activities they do, it will bring misfortune. Because the intelligence is lost at that time. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. So smriti vibhrama, their memory is gone, like their intelligence is gone. So with that, intelligence is gone. So in that condition, if someone takes decision or performs activities, they will bring misfortune only. So it will create many sinful reactions. So one should be very calm and peaceful when they become unnecessary anger, or if they can take the advice of their guru, spiritual master, or senior Vaishnavas like that, or the parents who can guide us in a right direction. So like here it's mentioned, we see that in Dhruva Maharaj attacked yakshas without taking the direction of his grandfather Manu or his guru Narada Muni. So like that. So it's called unnecessary anger. So when one is unnecessary anger, then one should calm down and try to take the suggestion from the senior Vaishnavas or guru or parents like that. So, and Prabhupada mentions the necessary anger is not bad, because sometimes there are bad persons outside, and it is required, especially in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, because he's Kshatriya. So to protect his citizens or to keep the law and order in the right status, so he has to punish people. So, but here, because of one Akshas offense, so he is going and killing many Akshas, so which is not approved by the Swayambhuman. So that's why here he is here to stop it. So this is one of the instruction for us also, like when we become angry on anyone, so we should calm down or try to take advice of other Vaishnavas or Guru or some elderly personalities who can help us out to take the right decision. So in the text 8, we see that Lord Manu is telling, killing of the sinless akshas which we have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities. And also it doesn't befit our family, because supposed to know the laws of religion and religion. And Dhruva is coming from the lineage of the Manu, right? And is very closely connected to Manu. Manu is his grandfather, and Manu is the lawgiver. So that's why it is obviously obvious that Dhruva Maharaj should know these laws. So what is religion? What is religion? Who should be killed and who should not be killed? How many should be killed? Like that, and all these things. So here, because he's killing many people who are innocent, so Manu is telling that it is not befitting our family, because it's supposed to know the laws of religion and religion. In text 9, we see that it has been approved, but that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his by killing, it is being killed by the Akshas. But just consider, for one Akshas offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. So, and the reason Dhruva Maharaj is killing Akshas is because one of the Aksha killed his brother Uttam. And since he is very much affectionate to his brother, so being angry, he is killing many Akshas. So, but that's not appropriate. That's what Manu is mentioning here. In the text 10, we see that one should not accept the body as the self, and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. And especially this is forbidden to the saintly personalities who follow the path of Bhakti Yoga. And Prabhupada mentions that the one word, sadhunam rishikeshanu vartinam, like that word. So sadhu means a saintly person. So who is a saintly person? Who takes up the path of, or who practices the path of Bhakti Yoga, the devotion service. Rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate, like who pleases Supreme Lord Krishna and does the favorable things. So that kind of sadhu, generally he doesn't kill other human beings. What to speak of human beings? Even he doesn't kill any animal also. So we see that in the life of Mrugari. So before he took up the path of Bhakti Yoga, he was killing the animals left and right. But after he took up the process of Bhakti Yoga, then he is very cautious not to step on an ant also. So like that. So Dhruva Maharaj here is advised by Manu that so since he is a pure devotee, great saintly personality, so why should he become unnecessarily angry and kill the innocent people like the animals do? Because the animals, because they don't know, have this knowledge, so they think that the other animal body is food for them, so they'll go and kill. But here Manu is not approving that. And in the text 11, you see that Manu is mentioning that it is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari, Vaikuntha planet, but here Dhruva Maharaj is destined to go that, because he pleased the Supreme Lord. So we heard in the previous chapter how Dhruva Maharaj pleased Supreme Lord by performing severe austerity, and then Lord Vishnu appeared and benedicted him that he will go back home, back to Godhead after this lifetime. And Narada Muni also mentions to his father Uttanapada that your son Dhruva Maharaj is going to perform the wonderful task, which is even not possible for the many great kings and sages. So Dhruva Maharaj pleased Lord Vishnu and got benediction that he will go back home, back to Godhead. And then the text 12, the last sloka for today. So is that Manu is mentioning that because he is a pure devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you, and he is also recognized by all the confidential devotee. So that's why his life should be exemplary behavior. And Manu is saying that that's why he's surprised why you have undertaken such an abominable task. This is another instruction. Dhruva Maharaj is a pure devotee, and he is accustomed to think Krishna always. So that's why Krishna also thinks him. So etamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyam. Like how we approach Supreme Lord also reciprocates in the same manner. So here Dhruva Maharaj, since he always thinks of Krishna, Krishna also thinks of him. And Prabhupada mentions that a pure devotee, he doesn't know anything beyond the Lord. And similarly, the Lord also doesn't know anything beyond his pure devotees. So Manu is pointing that here that he does like that, and also is recognized by all his confidential devotees as a pure devotee. So that's why his act should be exemplary behavior. So this is one of the instruction for us, at least for me, as a trying to a devotee. We should also perform the activities that are appropriate. So our activities should inspire someone to take up Krishna consciousness, or inspire someone to progress in the path of bhakti. So our activities, if somebody who is not in Krishna consciousness, if they look at our activities and they think that, oh, these people are also not doing proper activities, then they will not be inspired to take up Krishna consciousness. So that's why our activities should also be very exemplary, which will help others to take up Krishna consciousness or progress in the path of bhakti. So yeah, I'll pause it here for today. So in the next session, we see how Manu advises further in things, and then how he also requests to pacify the chief of the Akshas, who is Kuvera, and then Manu and the great sages returns from that place. So thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Krishna Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.